Hi everybody! Christmas is getting near, and today in Seasons of Provence I wanted to show you how to make a terrine of foie gras, which is a must at a French table for Christmas. And it might sound a little bit intimidating, but I promise you it's actually not that complicated. So follow my steps. Phase 1 of making the foie gras, we're going to season it and leave it to marinate overnight. Try to work it when it's cold. On the foie gras you have two lobes, which we're going to try to separate here to make sure the marinade is well spread, as much in contact with the flesh as possible. You have a smaller lobe and a bigger lobe. I'm just going to apply this on the foie gras, trying not to sort of give it too much time in my hands, because I don't want it to warm up too much. It's going to be a bit of a messy job. I have been massaging the foie gras with our mix of marinade, salt, pepper, 4 spices and sugar. I'll give you obviously the recipe, the exact quantities, and I'm just going to add a tiny dot of wine in this mix. With this foie gras I'm going to be making a jelly. I like the sourness of jelly. I think it complements really well the fat of the foie gras. And I'm going to be using through this recipe, it's an emblematic vineyard from Provence. Beaumes-de-Venise has been making sweet wines from the time popes were in France hundreds of years ago. It's my favourite wine to have with foie gras. So I'm going to add 2 spoons of muscat with our foie gras. A battery to also try the wine myself. It smells of honey, of ripe apricot. Muscat has this perfect marriage between something extremely velvety with the sugar content, but it's got something of a nice biting acidity, which keeps the wine very refreshing, even though it is basically a concentrate of ripeness. You have this honey, this ripe apricot, very floral as well. I can smell roses, which is such an elegant wine. So I really advise you to try this famous pairing of Beaumes-de-Venise with foie gras. This is from the Domaine des Bernardins, which is one of the most notorious Beaumes-de-Venise wine. If you can find some before Christmas, that will, I'm sure, delight all of you. Muscat Beaumes-de-Venise is my first choice because it's my local. If you can't find it, my second best would be to go for a Tokai Azur or a Riesling Auslese from Germany. It will work beautifully. Now, if you want to stay on the great variety of Muscat, in Italy you get the Pantelleria, which will be superb, or of course a bit more of a niche but excellent choice is the Worcester Augsburg, which are all delicious options. So now I'm going to press it down and I'm going to try to keep it all together without warming it too much. And in goes the foie gras for one night. Preheat your oven 100 degrees Celsius. Best to have your foie gras out of the fridge for half an hour to an hour to let it sort of get rid of the chill. Also start heating some water. For the bain-marie, it should be around 80-85 degrees before it goes into the oven. My kit for this, I have a dish in which I'm going to put my foie gras, and I also have a thermometer because I'm going to need to know the temperature in the heart of the foie gras to know when it's cooked. Foie gras first. Adding water to my bain-marie, 80-85 degree. Obviously, try not to hurt yourself in the process. Then I have my thermometer. I need to set it, and I'm going to go right in the center. And I'm going to cover this. The oven is hot, so in goes the foie gras. The foie gras is cooking. We're trying to reach between 52 to 54 degrees Celsius at the heart of the foie gras, which should be perfect. And that's going to take, depending on your oven, temperature of the liver and so on, it will take between 25 to 35 minutes. So I've set my thermometer, so I'm confident it's going to ring when it's ready. So minute DIY here. I have taken a template of the shape of my terrine dish, because sometimes you buy these dishes and you don't have what we call a presser. So we're going to need a flat surface on top of your foie gras to sort of help it settle and condense. So I have taken some cardboard and I've used some heat-proof cling film to on top of it. So I'll put that on the surface of the foie gras, and then we're going to add some weight on top, make sure it sort of evens out and gets a nice, beautiful, flawless block of foie. Just got the foie out of the oven. I've got it out of the dish. I've pumped all the fat out, which we're keeping for later. And I've put my presser down. And now I'm going to put some weight on it and leave it to cool down before I put it in the fridge. So the foie gras is back at room temperature. So I'm adding a little weight, just plastic pouch with water on it for an even spread of the weights. I'm putting that on. Again, to keep it nice and dense and even, and closing the lid, and it will go in the fridge now for ideally 2 days, when we're going to be able to complete with the jelly or not. So I've got my wine in here with a tablespoon of sugar, and I'm going to heat it up. I'm not going to boil it. Then I'm going to add the 2 gelatin sheets and let it cool down before I pour it on the foie gras, and let it rest for a few hours before we can finally enjoy it. To take 2 gelatin sheets, which I'm going to remove the excess of water, and then in they go. Now this is going to get back to room temperature before I can put it on the foie gras. What I'm opening right now is my family onion jam, which is a superb match with foie gras, and I will share the recipe with you very soon.